HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
It's time to talk Grizzly.
The air conditioner made specifically for Arizona summers.
Alaskan AC introduced the Grizzly a couple years ago, and the reviews are pouring in.
This one says, I love how quiet it is. I can hardly hear it come on, but I'm always comfortable.
Another person writes, finally an air conditioner that can withstand the desert heat and dust.
This one says, I like its fluffy fur and cute black nose.
Anyway, if it's time to upgrade your AC, you can't do better than the Grizzly.
Only available at Alaskan AC.
People love it.
Like this person who said, we live in an older home and the Grizzly keeps us comfortable in every room.
Or this guy. We live just outside of town and the dust is horrible. Glad we have an AC that can take it.
Or this one. He's so cuddly and has these adorable pads on his paws.
Gary, I think you're on a different webpage.
Gary, I think you're different.
Learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
We watch these lawyers get on TV and say they're going to treat their clients like family. When we know they put secret mandatory quotas on their lawyers, that means your own lawyer pressures you into a premature, terrible result. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. We don't set settlement quotas. We measure success by achieving each client's best outcome and by each client's happiness.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Superstar Car Wash, the car wash with superpowers. Sign up for a free car wash today. That's right, totally free for a limited time. Because we love what makes you shine. See website for details.
Every summer, across the valley, hundreds of our homeless neighbors die because of the heat. This is tragic, and it is preventable. None of us can stop the heat, but together we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoy fine dining experience at the award-winning Choyo Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A win last night for the Arizona Diamondbacks, the final week of the preseason. How much should the Cardinals play their starters if they play them at all this weekend? And what does the most likely outcome look like for Kyler Murray and the Cardinals this season? All of that, the focus of this, the Wednesday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan, he is behind the glass, ready to take your phone calls today. 480-864-1060. The phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream where you can watch the program as well. Diving into our top story here today, I want to talk about the Diamondbacks, but one player in particular. It is the guy that was on the mound last night, and it was the guy that, since the calendar has turned to August, looks more like the guy that the Diamondbacks expected when they signed him to a 4-year, $80 million contract.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
It was a win last night for the Diamondbacks, 6-5 over the Cleveland Guardians, and it was 6 2/3 for Eduardo Rodriguez. The final line for him, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. For the month of August, Eduardo Rodriguez has been pitching to a 4.50 ERA in 4 starts and has looked way more like the pitcher that the Diamondbacks thought they were getting when they signed him to that 4-year deal a couple of off seasons ago. And I think I want to reframe the conversation around Eduardo Rodriguez and this rotation for the Arizona Diamondbacks, because you can't expect every single member of your rotation to pitch to a sub-3 ERA or to a 3.5 ERA. You're going to have your workhorse. You're going to have your top dog. You're going to have that ace frontline starter that every fifth day you know is going to bring it, that you know is going to absolutely fool the opposition. And you're going to have a number 2 who's pretty close, but maybe for one reason or another can't consistently put it together the way that ace can. And then your 3, 4, and 5 spots in your rotation could be filled by some young starters who are trying to rise up the ranks. You need that innings eater. You need those middle of the rotation arms, those league average pitchers, the starters that are going to take the ball every fifth day and check this box and this box alone. You're going to have a chance to win the baseball game. They're not going to dominate and throw 7-8 scoreless and strike out in the double digits and only allow 1 or 2 hits. These are not the starters that are going to flirt with no-hitters and perfect games on the regular. You need guys that can take the ball every fifth day and give you a chance to win. And over his last 4 starts in the month of August, Eduardo Rodriguez has done exactly that. All 4 starts in the month of August, the Diamondbacks have won, and he has pitched to an ERA that is more in line with what the average pitcher has thrown to this year in the National League. I pulled the numbers.
I'm a huge nerd.
The average starter in the National League this season is pitching to a 4.27 ERA. That same average starter is striking out a little more than 8 batters for every 9 innings that they pitch. That same average starter's walking nearly 3 guys per 9 innings, giving up a little north of 1 home run, 1.2 home runs every 9 innings. That is what the average starter in the National League has been this season. Eduardo Rodriguez, over his last 4 starts, a 4.50 ERA, 6 strikeouts per 9, 6.38, 4.5 walks, and 1.13 home runs. So average home run rates compared to the rest of the National League, an ERA that's a little bit higher, walking some more batters, not striking out as many, but he is doing the job that he is being asked to do. And I want to take it a step further here for just a second. I want to compare Eduardo Rodriguez to his contemporaries. I want to compare him to guys that are making around the same amount that he is. Because some of you may look at $20 million a season for Eduardo Rodriguez and think that you are not getting fair value for that. Well, I've got 3 pitchers, Chris Bassett, Walker Buehler, and Nick Martinez. No, I didn't pick those 3 names out of thin air. They are the 3 guys that are just in front of Eduardo Rodriguez on the annual average value scale. So they make just a little bit more. They're in the $21 million range, where Rodriguez slots in at $20 million. These are their numbers this season. Chris Bassett up in Toronto, a 4.22 ERA, 8.5 strikeouts per 9, 2.5 walks per 9, about a home run and a half per 9 innings. So a little bit better, but not astronomically better. Not a guy that's pitching to a 3.2 ERA and is in the Cy Young conversation. How about Walker Buehler signed a 1-year deal for the Boston Red Sox, who are trying to compete in the American League? He's pitching to a 5.4 ERA, nearly 7 strikeouts per 9. He's walking nearly 5 batters per 9, giving up nearly 2 home runs per every 9 innings. You would say Eduardo Rodriguez a much better value than Walker Buehler. How about Nick Martinez, who accepted the qualifying offer there in Cincinnati? A 4.73 ERA, 6.5 strikeouts per 9, rounding, a little north of 2 walks per 9, and 1.23 home runs per 9 innings. And again,
I'm a huge nerd.
I got nerdy on you there, but I did it for a reason. I did it to tell you that your expectations for Eduardo Rodriguez maybe need to change a little bit. The pitcher that he has been over the last 4 starts is what we all should want to see from Eduardo Rodriguez every time he takes the ball. That's the starter that this team needs. That's the starter that they are paying for. That is the stat line, what we've seen in August, not in July, not the 7.4 ERA that he had in the month of July. But the guy that he has been in August, you will take that next season. You will take that as your number 3, number 4, number 5, wherever he slots in. A back of the rotation arm that you're paying $20 million. He is supposed to just take the ball and give you a chance to win. And every so often, maybe 1 out of every 7 or 8 starts, he's able to give you that brilliance and look like the guy that he was before he hit free agency when he pitched to a 3.3 ERA his last year in Detroit. He'll show flashes of that every once in a while. But more often than not, he's going to be a middle-of-the-road starter, and he's going to give you a chance to win baseball games. That's it. Don't expect any more from him. Don't expect him to go out there and dominate for 6 or 7 innings. The start that he had the other night in Colorado, the 7 innings of 1-run ball, that's the outlier, ladies and gentlemen. What you saw last night, 6 2/3, the 4 earned runs, or the 5 1/3 against Colorado the previous Saturday, 5 1/3, 5 runs, giving the team a chance to win. That is the ceiling. That is what you should expect from Eduardo Rodriguez, and I am here to tell you that is okay. You can't have 5 starters in your rotation that pitch like that, but every rotation needs one of those guys. They need that journeyman. They need that guy that's been around the block, that's just going to go out there and take the ball and give you a solid outing. Not even a quality start, not ace-level stuff. Just take the ball every 5th day and give you a chance to win. And so far in the month of August, that is exactly what Eduardo Rodriguez has done for this team. Just frame it correctly. Set your expectations for the rest of this season and for next year correctly. I think when he signed that 4-year contract, there was this idea with how much money that he got paid that you're looking at that guy as a number 2 or number 3 starter. He's more of a number 4, number 5 starter, and every rotation in baseball needs a guy that's going to pitch the way Eduardo Rodriguez pitched last night and the way he has pitched so far in the month of August. I was having a conversation with somebody in the building today talking about his start. We'd all love to have 5 starters that can pitch to a 3.1 ERA, a sub-3 ERA. We'd love to have 5 Cy Young candidates in our rotation. That's not how the sport works. That's not how you build a rotation. That's not how you build a roster. You're going to have the 1 or 2 guys that you rely on to carry the weight. You may have a project, a young starter that you're developing, and then you're going to have 2 guys like Eduardo Rodriguez. So I wanted to make sure we touched on this because had another solid start last night. Has had a great month of August. Had a really good month of June. Pitched to a 1.98 ERA in the month of June. That feels like much of an outlier. But I also wanted to do the deep dive and look at where Eduardo Rodriguez compares to the average National League pitcher. And he's right there. And that's okay. That's a good place to be.
I mean, even when you signed him, we didn't think I've never circled Eduardo Rodriguez, even at the peak of his career, as a top-of-the-line starter in Major League Baseball.
That last year in Detroit in 23, when he pitched to a 3.3 ERA, that was the outlier season for him because the year prior it was a 4 ERA. His last year in Boston was a 4.74 ERA. I mean, he kind of hovers around this. For his career ERA is a 4.2, and that includes the last 2 seasons where he had a 5 ERA in 24, and he has a 5.4 ERA this year. So with 2 years kind of inflating a little bit, what we've seen over the last 4 starts is who Eduardo Rodriguez is as a pitcher. And you know what? If that's the guy I'm going to get over the next 2 years of the contract, because I'm halfway through, I'm fine with that. What I can't have is the guy who is unplayable. The guy who's giving me 3 innings and giving up 7 or 8 runs and burying me before I even have a chance.
We can't have the same conversations that we had at the start of the year. You have to move him to the bullpen conversation. The only reason he's in this starting rotation is because of what they paid him. If you can avoid those conversations, it looks a lot better.
And this starter that we've seen over the last 4 starts is not one where I would say move him to the bullpen. He's only in there because of his contract. I think that's what you're paying him for. You're paying him to be the guy he's been over the last 4 starts. When we were having that conversation early in the season, it was because I can pull up the game logs and probably pinpoint exactly the day that we had the conversation. But there are plenty of starts where he didn't give the Diamondbacks a chance. They didn't have a chance. How about the 4 innings that he gave them against the Mets on April 29th when he gave up 8 earned runs? How about the start where he went 2 2/3? Remember that 14-11 game against the Dodgers on the Friday night when it was a back and forth? The Diamondbacks erased that huge deficit. He went 2 2/3 and he allowed 6 earned runs. Those are the starts we're talking about. A 4 1/3, 12 hits, 8 earned runs against the Royals on July 4th. Those are the starts that make you go, this guy can't be in the rotation. But for every one of those starts, if you have 4 starts like he's had in August, no question that he can be your number 4 or number 5 starter. Now, the job is on Mike Hazen to build a rotation to where Eduardo Rodriguez is your number 4 or number 5 starter. And I think they have some pieces that will put Eduardo Rodriguez in that spot because you can't have him be your number 2 starter.
No. I don't think he's going to be their number 2 starter. Now, with that being said, he may start opening day.
I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse on who's starting opening day for the 2026 Diamondbacks because I don't even know what that roster is going to look like just yet.
I don't either. That's why I said he might start opening day.
As we sit here today, I don't know who the manager is going to be. I don't know who the starting second baseman is going to be. There's a lot of questions that are up in the air right now about the 2026 state of affairs for the Diamondbacks. But yeah, there is a world where he is.
And it has nothing to do with talent and more to do with just longevity and who I think that they would hand the ball to in game number 1. Especially if they have a new manager, I think they would go to the veteran of the staff.
Yeah, Brendan Pfaadt would also be in consideration for that. And I think Ryan Nelson. I think the 3 established guys, they're going to be here next year. I think they're all going to have a leg up on whoever else fills those last 2 spots. But this is the type of guy that this team needs in their rotation. And if you reset the bar accordingly and tell yourself, over his last 4 starts, he's basically been a league average pitcher. That's what you ask for. If you get that every time out, you're going to have a chance. With this offense, even going into next season, with what we think this offense can be, what this core has been able to do, Ketel Marte is still here. Corbin Carroll, what we saw this year, carries over into next season. They're going to be able to score enough to win those starts. They did it again last night. He gave up 4 earned runs. They won the game. So you can win this way. You can't win this way when every single night out, a starter is giving this to you. But can you have one guy, a guy that you're paying $20 million a season, when based on who he surrounds himself with in terms of salary, he's not pitching that much worse than those guys? And I didn't cherry pick. I just picked the next 3 names on the list. I'm sure there's somebody, if I looked at the entire list, that's a great value for a team where they're getting just an incredible season and they're paying him less than Eduardo Rodriguez, or they're paying a little more than Eduardo Rodriguez and they're getting a massive upgrade. But for what Eduardo Rodriguez is, this contract is fine. The Diamondbacks are fine, and they will take what we have seen so far in August for the rest of that contract, and they will tell themselves, we're fine. We're good with that.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Is let's not look at Eduardo Rodriguez and act like they're paying him like a top-of-the-line starter across Major League Baseball. Like, they're not. They're just not.
That's why I picked the names that I did. I wanted to show everybody who surrounds Eduardo Rodriguez in the salary pool. Like, who else is getting around the money that he is getting. You're not paying him to be Garrett Cole. If you were, a 4.5 ERA is not going to cut it.
And I think there's this belief that they are, just because, no doubt about it, the team hasn't given out a lot of massive contracts.
Well, and I think there's also this lagging effect, I think, where people see $20 million and they expect that to be the going rate for a frontline top-end starter, when that's just not really the way it works. Like, if you want a top-end starter, it's going to cost you $28, $30 million, if not more than that. What does Garrett Cole make? I think it's like 36. So if you want an ace frontline starter, what did Corbin Burns get? Corbin Burns is in the 30s. So if you want that type of production, if you want an ace, you got to pay for it. They're not paying for an ace. They're paying for a middle of the rotation innings eater that's going to give their baseball team a chance.
Zach Wheeler is making $42 million a year. DeGrom at 40, Cole at 36. Corbin Burns actually 4th on the list, making 30.
Okay. Eduardo Rodriguez is making 20. There's a big gap between Eduardo Rodriguez and those pitchers in terms of the salary and in terms of the quality of what your expectations should be. But good start last night. A nice win for the Arizona Diamondbacks over the Cleveland Guardians, winning 6-5. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, it is the final week of preseason for the Arizona Cardinals, and it's a question that Jonathan Gannon still hasn't given us an answer on. Are the starters going to play? And should they? That's next. A lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Dive right into the world of sports with the lunch break with Chris Schubert. The MLB, NBA, NFL, and more always has a home on his plate.
But let's dive a little deeper into that. Let's unpack that a little more.
Join Chris and producer Evan as they analyze and dissect the sports world game by game.
Now, producer Evan and I had to really come together on this and decide how we were going to approach this.
It's the lunch break with Chris Schubert, live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KTUS AM 1060, on the KTUS 1060 app, and streamed live at KTUS 1060 on YouTube.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
The summertime deals are heating up at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, receive 0% APR for 60 full months on the brand new redesigned 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. That's right, 0% for 60 full months on a brand new Mitsubishi Outlander. This is a deal you've been waiting for. Think how much you'll save when you pay 0 interest. Available now at Scottsdale Mitsubishi at the 101 in Indian School. No hidden fees. Go to ScottsdaleMitsubishi.com for full details on approved credit. Another Mark Auto Group dealership.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. This is a huge Joe Burrow house. I love the guy. Who doesn't? If you've got a problem with Joe Burrow, you probably have a much bigger problem with yourself. Now, I'll tell you what I do have a problem with. Joe running around in a meaningless exhibition game last night, taking unnecessary hits. For who? For what? If their number one priority is keeping their star quarterback healthy, why do they have him in the line of fire in a meaningless game? How does Coach Zach Taylor not know better? And I know Joe is wired to compete, but how does he not know better? He doesn't need these reps, and he really doesn't need these hits. And I really don't want to hear they're playing him because they want to avoid another slow start to the season. You want to avoid a slow start? Fix your defense and sign Trey Hendrickson. You want to ensure another slow start? Get your QB1 hurt in a meaningless preseason game. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome, and please go to our YouTube page as well. Football is back, and so is the action on Prize Picks. With millions of members and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Boy, do we have a top 5 today for you. It's National Bacon Day. So our top 5 bacon dishes or ways to eat bacon, however you want to describe it. Coming up in hour number 2 of the program. I worked very hard on this list. Spent a lot of time in the morning meeting working on crafting my top 5 that we're going to do in hour number 2 of the program.
It was a tough one. Tough one today, especially as we got to the bottom list. I imagine, given where we're both from, we'll have a similar top of the list.
I think our number 1 will be the same. I don't know what we're going to do after that. But if you want to weigh in, you want to join us and have your top 5 list of bacon-related dishes on National Bacon Day, phone number is 480-864-1060. You can share your list over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. And however you want to interpret bacon dishes, if you want to just say, hey, I like bacon on this, however you want to put together the list, we'd love to hear from you today on the show. It is the last week of preseason for the Arizona Cardinals, and it is up in the air about whether or not the Cardinals will play their starters in the third and final preseason game against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Cardinals, to the surprise, I think, of many, including myself, played the starters in the first game of the preseason, and we encouraged it. We said it was a pleasant surprise that the starters were suiting up in preseason. We felt like preseason needed to be used to ramp up here a little bit. This team has gotten off to slow starts in the past. This team has a really soft, squishy part of their schedule at the beginning, and they can't afford to hit a roadblock, a speed bump early in the season just because, oh, we're shaking off some rust, or, oh, the starters didn't play in preseason. So while we didn't think it was going to solve everything, it was an encouraging sign from Jonathan Gannon and the team that they felt the urgency, right? It was more of an optic thing than anything else, that they felt the urgency the way we feel the urgency around this season. And then the second preseason game happened, and we thought maybe there would be a continuation of those starters playing, that it would be a slow ramp up, and perhaps they would play in the second preseason game, play a little bit longer, and then the third and final game is when they wouldn't really play at all. They would back off a little bit. Well, Sean Payton's the one that revealed this to all of us, but the two sides agreed to not play their starters in that game, so we didn't get that over the weekend. Cardinals didn't fare very well with their backups in against the Denver backups, and so that leads us all to today. That all leads us to what they should do moving forward. And I'm not sure what they should really do. There's a very strong case to getting some more reps, maybe playing a whole quarter or a couple of series and making that the final note before going into the beginning of the season. But then you also just have the cloud that hovers over any preseason game. And that cloud is, these games don't matter. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Don't increase your risk with the season just around the corner. You've made it this far without a serious injury to your quarterback or to your star wide receiver or to your star left tackle. Why risk it in the third and final preseason game when the regular season is right there? The regular season, you can see it on the calendar. This isn't June or July, the beginning of OTAs or training camp, and you may want to push the guys then, or the first preseason game, the first weekend of August. We are about to change the calendar to September. Week 1 is right in front of us, and you have a chance to get most of your team healthy to that finish line, to the start of the year. Is it worth it to risk them in the third and final preseason game? That's the gambit that Jonathan Gannon has to decide. And I don't know what I would do if I was in his spot.
It's a tough decision. Because I keep saying, look at the Bengals. And I know Jim Rome did something in the break, and I heard him talk about it yesterday, about how what a dumb decision by the Bengals. And the defense was the problem. The Bengals were 1 game away from making playoffs last year. They scored 10 points in the opener. They started slow. Like that is, if they came out and played in the preseason and they scored 17 points, they would have won week 1 and been a playoff team.
And that's your reason for playing in the preseason, right? You are trying to, I don't think, especially with the limited reps that preseason, even though starters are playing more this preseason than in recent memory, you are not going to completely erase a slow start. But what you are trying to do is limit how slow of a start it is. You're trying to jumpstart your team just a little bit quicker than maybe it would take if they didn't play it all in the preseason. You are basically trying to win on the margins here. You're trying to do just the bare minimum, just the little amount that you think is going to get your team started and avoid what happened to the Bengals last year, losing that first game at home against the Patriots, not scoring enough points, and that game being the one that everybody circles when they at the end of the year miss the playoffs. You are trying to find that little edge to find just enough playing time for your starters in the preseason to try and avoid that. You're not trying to make it where going into week 1, you're firing on all cylinders. That doesn't happen anymore in football, and I don't know if it ever happened.
No, and I think that looking and saying, oh, we want to be firing on all cylinders, that's a dream, right? That's a fever dream. But who's the gold standard of the NFL over the last few years?
Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs play their starters every year in the preseason. Every year. Isn't that the gold? Isn't that who you're chasing to be?
Yeah,
and I don't know if that's the end-all, be-all.
Yeah, I do worry about just trying to emulate one team because there are other teams that are not successful to the level of the Kansas City Chiefs, but are constantly posting to the postseason.
Certainly, I'm not saying that
differently.
I'm not saying that there is a, certain right way to do it. Look at the Eagles last year; they didn't play a single starter, right?
There's no one
the
size.
Chiefs always play their starters. There's no one right way to do it.
Yeah,
but I'm tired of. I would never play your starters. The risk of injury is too big. The Chiefs do it every year. Every year.
I think I feel differently about it in the third and final preseason game, and it's more of an emotional thing for me. It's more of a psychological thing, and I can see the beginning of the season. It's right there. That first preseason game, even though it's still in August, and it was 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was, 2.5 weeks ago, that feels like forever ago. It feels like the start of the season is far away, so I want to get these guys these reps. Now that I'm here, now that I'm on the doorstep, the season right in front of me, I think I feel the risk a little bit more. I think I can sense it a little bit more. I worry about it a little bit more. Maybe in the first preseason game, I can convince myself, even if somebody gets a little banged up, there's plenty of time before the season begins. Now, you're right there. It's right in front of you. You would hate for something to happen in the last preseason game when up until this point, you've had a pretty good, not perfect, but a pretty good, clean bill of health.
To this point, you've been good. I wouldn't. Do I think they'll play? I really don't think they'll play.
I don't think so either. I think they're going to feel good about things. They had the joint practice that they felt really good about. They're going to practice again this week. And I think they're going to err on the side of being cautious and just getting ready for week 1 against New Orleans.
But I see the value in playing their starters. Listen, whether they play or not this week, they're beating New Orleans. And I mean this in the nicest way possible.
Sure.
New Orleans has a Hall of Famer in Cameron Jordan and Alvin Kamara, who is another outstanding player, probably Hall of Very Good. But other than that, that is the worst roster in football.
Perhaps you would say stink out loud.
They stink out loud. That's a must win. Like, you just have to go down there and take care of business.
Yeah, easy. Don't do the show before the show. I want to talk about this in hour number 2 of the program, the way the early part of the season sets up for the Arizona Cardinals. And that's why it's so important to get off to a good start. And that's where you can convince yourself to play those starters over the weekend. But we'll monitor this. We'll keep an eye on it. If Jonathan Gannon tells the media a decision one way or another, we'll obviously break it down here as the week progresses. We've got buy or sell coming up in about 15, 20 minutes from now, but on the other side of the break. Step 1 of the changing landscape in baseball looks like it's about to be completed. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, Shade Scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Jan from Toyota here with live coverage of end-of-summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event with my special guest, Eli Manning.
Thanks, Jan. Let's get into it.
Down by the lake for some fishing, we've got Eric in his Tundra. He throws his line, and he's going long!
Heck of a team effort there. That Tundra got him exactly where he needed to be.
Next up, here's Kyle, off-roading behind the wheel of a 4Runner.
Whoa, that 4Runner's got some serious moves on the field.
There's excitement in the stadium parking lot with the Davis family tailgating in their new Sequoia.
All eyes are on Dad manning the grill. He grabs some buns from the cargo area of the Sequoia and flips. And look at that. What a way to close this one out.
Sure was, Eli. Until next time, go Toyota!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
Need a sign to have too much fun? Voila! Twin Arrows Navajo Casino Resort is right up the road. The best steakhouse with the best wine list anywhere near Flagstaff is the award-winning Zenith Steakhouse. Try the juicy T-bone special Thursdays. Make your getaway count. Play the $60,000 Drop It Like It's Hot Plinko. You could rack up to $1,300 cash. Saturdays, 2 to 5 p.m. Get your tickets now for psychic medium Matt Frazier at twinarrows.com. Live November 23rd. He already knows you're coming. The place to come when you want to have too much fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
Superstar Car Wash, the car wash with superpowers. Sign up for a free car wash today. That's right, totally free for a limited time. Because we love what makes you shine. See website for details.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
You can tell when an issue or a topic that we're talking about on the show can go either way within mere seconds of each other. Over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, we saw both ends of the spectrum when it comes to whether or not the Cardinals should play their starters. John said play them all, play the starters. And then It's All Code over there said they open with the Saints, who are at or near the bottom of most preseason power rankings. No way, in all caps, you risk playing the starters this week. Two different people within seconds of one another presenting both opinions, both ends of this spectrum. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do. I tend to lean more towards I can see the start of the season. It's right there. Don't risk it. Don't chance anything. Don't take that extra risk because the reward isn't necessarily worth it. We've spent a lot of time this week talking about the comments that Rob Manfred made on Sunday Night Baseball during the Little League Classic in regards to expansion of the sport, him talking about geographical realignment in the sport. We had some fun with that on yesterday's show, trying to figure out how these divisions could look with some expansion teams and maneuvering things around if they went to an East-West format. We gave it our attempt yesterday on the show. If you want to listen to that, you can go back into the podcast feed and catch up on that. But all of this hinges on the financial footing that Major League Baseball is trying to find. They're trying to ground themselves in a new financial reality. And part of that is their TV deal that they're working on. There's the new CBA coming up in 2027. That's obviously going to play a major role in this because I think the entire financial model of the way we talk about the way baseball teams are put together may change right in front of our eyes. But the TV deals are a major part of that. And Kendall Barker of Yahoo Sports yesterday broke that it looked like MLB is getting close to having their new finalized TV deal. And I'm just going to warn you now ahead of time, everybody. Get out a pen, get out a piece of paper. You're going to have to keep track of a couple of different streaming services here to be able to watch baseball. So according to Kendall Barker of Yahoo Sports, Apple is out. Friday Night Baseball on Apple, not going to be a part of the next MLB rights deal. Instead, it is going to be NBC and Peacock. They're going to have Friday and Sunday exclusive games, and that's where you're going to watch the wild card. MLB TV apparently is going to be sold to ESPN, and they're going to wrap that into their new ESPN app that I believe debuts tomorrow. And the third piece of this is that the Home Run Derby is now going to be a spectacle found on Netflix. So Netflix for the Home Run Derby. If you are somebody like myself who has MLB TV to watch other games, other teams, I don't know if that's just going to get wrapped into the $30 a month that you're going to pay for the new ESPN platform. I know producer Evan has been against paying the $30 a month for the new ESPN app service.
I'm just a little confused on what it is.
If it included all of MLB TV,
then I would buy it.
I'm in.
I would buy
Slam
it.
dunk.
But I'm a little, like I said, I'm just a little confused of what it is.
And then Apple out, NBC and Peacock in. They're going to get Friday and Sunday. And by the way, NBC and Peacock, they are making a big play. They have basketball starting this year. They're, at least according to this report, making a play for baseball. We know they already have Sunday Night Football, and they get some playoff games that way.
I don't know about you. I'm so excited for NBC to get in the mix here on baseball. So excited. I think they're, from a look standpoint, I love the way Sunday Night Football looks. So I'm excited to see what they can do with baseball.
I hear all of the concern about needing multiple different streaming apps to watch sports. I'm 30. I'm going to turn 31 early next week. I feel like I can handle myself when it comes to technology. So I can get a couple streaming services. I can balance all of the apps on my smart TV or on my tablet. But I do feel I'll just use them as an example. My dad needs a bunch of different apps to watch the New York Mets, his favorite baseball team. He doesn't live in New York anymore, so he needed to get MLB TV. And I can't tell you how many times throughout the course of the season I'll get a phone call because the game isn't available on MLB TV because it's an FS1 game, or it's the Roku Sunday leadoff game, or it's the Apple TV broadcast. And I have to kind of walk him through this as to know you need this service and this app. I get it. It should be easy. It should be streamlined. I think that's kind of what ESPN is trying to do. I don't know if they're going to execute it. I don't know if they're going to land the plane successfully there. But this can be too much. It can be too much to try to watch one sport.
And read me those streaming services again, because in my mind, when I look at it, and we talked about Peacock getting a Sunday game and a Friday game, right? Apple TV out, so you no longer need that service.
It says here NBC/Peacock, so I don't know.
So is that a national TV game? And so, for me, I watch Sunday Night Football on Peacock because I can do that.
Right.
But I could also just flip to NBC.
And I think you're going to see some games, at least if we take this report at face value, there will be some games that in that Friday window or the Sunday window, obviously not during football season, but maybe, this time of year, NBC would love to have Sunday night baseball right now. They'd love to have Friday night baseball in the doldrums of the summer months when football's not around and basketball's not around because they start up with basketball here this season. It is a lot. I am not going to try to be this person that tells everybody, because I know how to handle the technology, that everybody else needs to figure it out. Because even I get frustrated with it. Even I have to check 3 or 4 times to see exactly where a game is. Not just for baseball, but for any sport. And so I do think it's a little bit of the wild, wild west right now when it comes to all these streaming services gobbling up these media rights. And unfortunately, you have a couple of different players. Right? You have NBC and Peacock. You have ESPN that's doing what they're doing. You have Netflix, which is getting into the live sports game.
Netflix is an interesting one because if they just get the home run derby.
But it could be just a sample. It could be them seeing,
it could be a taster, right?
Right. And then the next TV deal, they may want a little more. They may want, hey, give us a Tuesday night game. They may ask for something to increase the rights the next go around, and it can be much to get all of these services. Now, I'm lucky. I've had Netflix since it started, so that's easy for me. I have Peacock because I'm a Premier League soccer fan. I'm a wrestling fan, so there's stuff on there. So I already have those 2 services in particular. I'm probably going to get the ESPN service. So I'm already good with those services, but for somebody who maybe doesn't have those, I get it. It can be a lot.
I also want to say I believe Peacock is free.
No.
I think there's a limited edition that is like a limited version that is free that you can watch like live events on.
I would be shocked if that was the case because then I'm paying way too much for my version of Peacock.
Let me Google that.
Yeah, please.
Also,
I know
you said
they just raised the price on me for Peacock.
You were an OG Netflixer?
I'm an OG Netflixer. My dad.
Did you do the my dad used to be a member when he used to like mail the
DVDs in the mail.
Those were awesome.
They would come in the red envelope, and then when you were done, you would put them back in there, and you would put them back in the mailbox. They would get sent out. Yeah, Netflix, from the moment it took over and destroyed Blockbuster, I can remember Netflix envelopes being sent to my door.
I'm wrong, by the way.
I figured you were.
Yeah, Peacock Premium. I think when it first started, it was free for maybe the first few months, and that's what I'm thinking. Peacock Premium, you're looking at $10.99 a month or $110 annually.
So I have the premium. They are raising.
Or you have Premium Plus.
Oh, what's Premium Plus?
Which is $16.99.
That's the one I have.
And the only thing you get different there is you can download and watch offline if you were traveling.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, that's nice because if you were traveling, you could
download a series or something to watch on the plane or something.
Yeah.
480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. This is step 1 of what baseball is trying to do. They need to get their financial house in order. The next CBA will be next, and then we can talk about the expansion and the realignment that could occur here down the road. But this is a first step. We'll see what the dollars are associated with it. I have plenty of questions. If MLB TV is going away, what does that mean? How am I going to get MLB TV if it's wrapped up into ESPN? How is ESPN going to offer it to me? A lot of follow-up questions to this. And obviously, when we learn more about this next TV deal, we'll break it down here on the program. Buy or sell to close up hour number 1 when we come back. The hottest takes in sports talk radio. Producer Evan has them. I am buying or selling them when we come back. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays, 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. If you haven't noticed, the summer's here. The triple digits are settling in, and we know the heat isn't the only thing feeling heavy. Got a tight budget? That's why we're offering new AC units starting at just $99 a month. But that's not it. You could also get up to $3,000 in federal tax credits and rebates. It's never been a better time to upgrade. Beat the heat and budget the stress. Make the precision decision today. Call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Precision decision with Precision Air. Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
You got the paint job, but now you need the materials fast. Get free same-day or next-day delivery on select PPG paints from the Home Depot. Now that's a pro move. Save time on store runs and get free delivery on small or large orders of select items. Save energy shopping around with PPG's wide assortment of colors and finishes all in one place. And save money with Pro Extra, where you can get up to 20% off paints, primers, and stains through Paint Rewards. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
Hey, listeners, this Saturday. Oh, wait a second. I'm going to have someone more important share the great news. Go ahead.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show listeners. This is Saguaro High School Principal Miss A. Vince will be out at Saguaro for our fall sports preview. You'll hear from coaches and kids. It's the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11 on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona. Go Cats.
Thanks, Miss A. Can't wait.
Let's get right to it. Buy or sell to close up hour number one here of the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060. I think I struck a nerve talking about the streaming services and the craziness that it's all become. John pointed out very correctly that those things were supposed to replace cable, and now instead they cost more than what cable would cost. You're paying more now. Because you need 400 services to watch the things you like.
I was going to say, the problem was cable was centralized.
Right.
Right. And so you haven't really found a way to centralize.
You know what I would love? A centralized way to watch all my sports. I don't have that right now.
And there never will be.
I don't think so. There was that rumored Fox Sports, ESPN, TNT thing that they were working on. And then ESPN just said, we're good.
Yeah, that was fake.
We'll just make our own thing.
That was certainly fake. Getting into buy or sell. We talked about it in hour number one, but there is more value in the starters getting at least one series in the preseason game.
So you're going to make me go on the record here, decide whether or not I want the starters to play in preseason. I will sell this take. I think there's more risk. There's not enough reward for these starters to play. Get ready for the Saints in week one. Don't put yourself in jeopardy. Make sure you have zero excuse for that game. You have to get off to a good start. don't play the starters in the final preseason game.
I have such a random thought that I just thought of. At what point do you think you start game planning for the Saints?
You should
They've already started game planning, right? So at what point does that start, do you think?
It should have started already. I've shared with you my theory, my opinion, that there are 2 times a year where I will not accept from a coach for him to get to the podium after the game and say we were unprepared. Other times, if you want to say I didn't have the guys ready, I can at least allow you to say that. There are 2 times where it's not allowed. Your first game of the season and the game out of the bye week. It's the 2 opponents that you have the most time to prepare for. If you can't get your team prepared and you get outcoached and you get to the podium and you say that, and I know it's all just a word salad anyway, but if that's what you come to the podium and say when you have the entire offseason to prepare for the Saints, I'm sorry, you shouldn't be in the job. If you can't get your team prepared for the Saints in week 1, what are we even doing here?
Imagine if they lose the Saints in week 1, there's going to be a really different feel of this team pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of problems.
A lot of problems
if they lose to the Saints in week 1.
Matthew Stafford will not start all 17 games this year for the Rams.
Bye. I think they're going to have to really manage this back thing. And I wonder if there's a moment where they just give him an extra game to just rest it. And it also depends, right? I also get as a part of this, if they play really well and they have everything locked up at the end of the season and they can sit him the final week, I look right in that scenario too. So there's a bunch of different ways for me to get to him not playing all 17 games, so I'll buy.
I just don't know if they'll be in a position late in the season where the Cardinals are out of the conversation where it won't come down to that last game.
If the Cardinals lose week 1 to the Saints.
Yeah.
I think.
I just want to be on the record. I would be shocked if they lose to the Saints in week 1.
Yeah.
I can't say this enough. The Saints are one of the worst rosters I've seen in my 20-plus years of watching football.
They stink out loud.
They are so bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
Really, really bad. It's not just a quarterback problem. They have a problem at every position group. The Cardinals will have 2 rushers with over 700 yards this year.
I want to see what they did last year.
I was going to say, would you like some numbers?
I would. I had a lean, but maybe last year's numbers will lean.
James Conner had over 1,000 yards last year.
What did Benson get to?
And that's not the one that everybody's talking about. Trey Benson last year got to about 290, 291.
He would need to more than double his workload from last year.
Only 63 carries last year. Averaged 4.6 a carry.
I mean, he was great.
I thought he was great.
Especially as the year went on.
And I just think that they're going to take more load off of James Conner this year.
I know, but to the tune of more than 400 more yards?
Think about it this way.
Big number.
Think about it this way.
Okay.
Give me 300 yards off of James Conner. If I can take that share of carries, do I think Trey Benson can buy me an extra yard on every carry?
You want him to be at 5 yards a carry?
No. I'm saying 4 yards a carry. He averaged more yards a carry than James Conner.
I know, but you want him.
And if I give that load off of James Conner to Trey Benson, mathematically, he would hit the number.
All right, I'll buy. I mean, they're going to do a lot with Trey. At least with everything they're saying, they want to do a lot with Trey.
And listen, his yards may come more in the receiving game.
That's the other worry.
Rushing. That's the other worry.
Yeah.
But right now, I like it. Last one, a little bit of random, but we talked about it in the morning meeting. Kyle Tucker will sign somewhere else in the offseason.
So I need to let everybody in on why this is a conversation. If you're not paying attention to what's going on in Chicago, yesterday they started a series with the Brewers, or they're in the middle of a series with the Brewers. I just know they played the Brewers yesterday. And Kyle Tucker did not play in the game. They sat him down. He has been struggling since the All-Star break, and it has gotten to the point where there's concern about where he's at mentally, not running out grounders. Has hit like 1 home run since July.
He's hitting 181 with one homer since the break.
He's getting booed. I'll take the field on where Kyle Tucker will play next season, yes. But I would have taken the field before the season began. Just always easier to take the field in those situations. And the fact that they haven't given him a deal already, I think prolongs that he's going to play the field. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Appreciate you joining us. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
You notice all of a sudden there's a bunch of lawyers saying they're going to fight for you? Yeah, until you read the fine print below them. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. If you look closely at that fine print, you'll see not an attorney in this state or not a law firm.
You never trust your future in the hands of someone other than a serious, experienced trial lawyer. And you definitely can't trust someone who won't even tell you who they are.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Make memories you'll cherish for years to come. Join Miss Appleberry, JJ, Cody, Nina, and Cece for a lively Melon Patch musical adventure in this exciting interactive live show. Saturday, October 4th and Sunday, October 5th at the Arizona State Fair. Sing along. Dance along. Play together. Tickets on sale now at azstatefair.com and include Arizona State Fair admission. It's a celebration of connection and childhood wonder. Coco Melon Sing Along Live inside the Coliseum at the Arizona State Fair.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit andrewthehomebuyer.com. That's andrewthehomebuyer.com.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda. Right now, receive 1.9% APR for 60 months on the brand new 2025 Mazda CX-50 or CX-50 Hybrid.
The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. On approved credit plus $998 fee.
Things are heating up, but the deals at McDonald's are very cool. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for $1.39. Whether you reach for a crisp Diet Coke, ice cold Sprite, or fruity Fanta Orange, you've got options. There's a size for any occasion, like a quick sip in the car, an afternoon energy boost, or the perfect add-on to a meal. So swing by, cool off, and grab a summer sip with $1.39 refreshment. Only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or company. Diet Coke, Fanta, and Sprite are registered trademarks of the Coca-Cola Company.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
¡Listos todos! Estas son las mañanitas.
Now we just need to harmonize.
Switch today. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with Galaxy AI. Plus, get 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. For well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Minimum 4 lines on plan. Contact us of canceling lines. Plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. We appreciate you joining us. Chris Schubert with you. Producer Evan is behind the glass. He's taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060. It's the way for you to join the program here today. You can also watch the show over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. And I want to dive back into the Arizona Cardinals and football to open up this hour of the program. And I want to try to answer a question. We talked a little bit about the Saints in the week 1 matchup and how important that game is for this team and the soft part of the schedule that this team has at the beginning, very front-loaded with a chance to get off to a good start. A make or break year in many ways for many different parties. So what's the most likely outcome here? If you had to guess or predict the most likely thing to happen this season, when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray, what would it be? Would it be a season that allowed him to be here for 2026? To be here for 2027? Is the most likely outcome this team playing well enough to be in the postseason? Or is the most likely outcome us spending an entire offseason wondering how the Cardinals are going to change their quarterback room? How are they going to trade Kyler Murray, and who's going to be the next person through that door playing under center for this team? Which one is more likely? Well, as part of a story predicting 12 different teams that have quarterback questions going into this season, ESPN listed the most likely and the long shot outcome for 12 different franchises and their quarterbacks. And alphabetically, you know who was number one on that list. It was the Arizona Cardinals. And Kyler Murray signed through 2027, a team option for 2028. And here is what they said was the most likely outcome. And I want for all of you to do what I did in reading this story this morning. I want you to think about what the most likely outcome is in your mind. Before I read this to you, if you haven't already seen this, I want you to think in your mind what the most likely outcome is. And I want you to see if it matches, because I'll tell you what, didn't match for me. Quote, the Cardinals have a good enough season, maybe even contend for or snag a playoff spot, and stay the course with Murray through at least 2026. If Murray plays well enough, he could be in a position to ask for an extension that offers him more security than his current deal, end quote. I don't think the most likely outcome is a Cardinals team that contends for a playoff spot and Kyler is getting a contract extension. I think there is a prerequisite to all of this. We've said it before. It's going to continue to be the thing we say throughout the course of the season. This team has to make the postseason this year. It is not good enough to be on the doorstep, to knock at the door and not get invited to the party. If they don't play a playoff game, then I don't think they are staying the course with Kyler Murray. I don't think there's a world where Kyler Murray is getting a contract extension that is getting him more security. You want more security if you're Kyler Murray? To quote our friend Michael, whose expectations are set very high, win the playoff game. But is that the most likely outcome? Because their long shot outcome feels closer to maybe where we might be. Quote, Arizona season completely collapses, people in charge get fired, and a new regime comes in and decides the best thing for the franchise is to move on at quarterback in the 2026 draft. Murray becomes a candidate to be released or traded, while one of the top QB prospects for 2026 lands in Arizona in round 1. I don't know, producer Evan, how many times I've said this already this offseason, and I don't know how many times I'm going to have to continue to say it on this show. It would take a 1-16, 2-15, 3-14. You catch my drift here. It would take that level of collapse for there to be a change at GM and a change at coach. They go 6-11, they go 7-10, they go 8-9, they go 9-8, miss the postseason. The only person that's going to be under the microscope is the guy under center. The only player, the only party involved that's probably going to be packing their things and playing or being elsewhere next season is the quarterback under center. Unless it is a tailspin of all tailspins. Unless we're talking about a 1-16 season. And I don't see that happening unless they have catastrophic injuries across the board. And again, in that scenario, you're not firing the coach. You're not firing the GM.
I don't see a world in which reality, they could fire him with everybody staying healthy, because I just don't see a world where they could go 1-16. Like, it would have to be so bad to go 1-16.
There's no world where it would be that bad. And so that's why I don't see the long shot coming to pass, because I don't see a regime change coming. Could they maybe change offensive coordinators? Sure. Could they maybe change quarterbacks? Absolutely. I don't think they're changing GM. I don't think they're changing the coach. That is not the problem here. And so somewhere in the middle lies the truth between these two outcomes. To me, the most likely outcome here, if we go based on track record, if we go based on history, if we go based on what we saw a year ago, here's the most likely outcome. The Cardinals fall just short of the postseason, and the Cardinals make a decision to go in a different direction at quarterback, because this is not the GM that drafted him. This is not the coach that drafted him. This is not the regime that drafted him. That's the most likely outcome here. Because let's face it, it's much easier for things to go wrong and for you to miss the playoffs than it is for things to go right and for you to make the playoffs. Now, my prediction for this team is that they will make the postseason. But if we were talking about the most likely outcome here, it's that they just barely miss. And we are spending March and April breaking down quarterback prospects, breaking down a potential trade of Kyler Murray. We're spending that time talking about the future. I don't see a world where if this team misses the playoffs, we are not having a quarterback crisis here. That's what I think is coming to this team if the most likely outcome comes to pass. But I don't see a world where the coach goes. I don't see a world where an extension comes in for Kyler Murray unless he's winning a postseason game. So my most likely outcome for this team is a team that plays well enough to be in the mix, but not well enough to get in. And we are having, finally, the quarterback conversation that many have wanted to have over the last couple of years. I don't think making the playoffs is enough to warrant an extension. I do think making the playoffs is enough to push this can down the road another season. That's why it's always been the bar that we have set, because that changes everything about the 2026 offseason. You make the playoffs, I don't think you're having a quarterback controversy. I don't think you're entertaining drafting a QB or trading Kyler and getting somebody else that's a free agent or trading for somebody else. I don't think any of that's on the table. I think you miss the postseason, you fall short, all of it's on the table. All of it's available to you.
I think this is a playoff team. I really do. And when you look at this division and the way we broke it down,
I mean, they graded out number one.
They graded out number one.
Yeah, they graded out number one for us in our NFC West power rankings, position by position. At the end, when we tallied it all up, they were the team that ranked number one, and that was with the Rams being the top quarterback team. That was with Matthew Stafford assumed health.
So I don't know what to say other than I can't. Yes, can I see a world where they don't make the playoffs? Yeah, but I can't see a world where this thing goes off the rails.
No, and that's why their season completely collapsing is listed here as the long shot outcome. But I saw once again another story talk about a regime change, and it's just not happening. I don't think there is any world where that's happening at the end of the season.
It would have to be such a colossal mistake.
But if I told you right now, if I said to you August 20th, I can look into the future, I've got a crystal ball, and I can tell you that the Cardinals are going to go 1-16. You're going to tell me it's because they had a bunch of injuries. This team's too talented to go 1-16. So if there are excuses, then there's not going to be a regime change. Nothing is changing with the coach and GM, no matter what, this offseason. No matter what. This coach is still going to be here. This GM is still going to be here. If they miss the postseason, are they then next up on the hot seat going into 2026? Absolutely. They're atop of the list of who's under the most pressure for this team. But right now, all of the pressure is on the quarterback. And the success of this team making the playoffs or not making the playoffs, I think, is going to be the determining factor on Kyler Murray's future. You make the playoffs, you're here to 2026. You win a playoff game, I think we talk extension. You miss the postseason, I think we're talking about this team moving on. I really think it's that simple. Those are the three buckets. Which one do you think is most likely? I tend to skew to be a negative person. I tend to skew towards looking at all the things that could potentially go wrong. And again, it's always easier for things to go wrong, to go sideways on you. And so it's always easier for this team to miss the postseason. But if I had to predict right now, I would predict them to make the playoffs. They will be one of the playoff teams when we do our predictions next week on the show. They will be a team that I have in the postseason. Spoiler alert.
I think you look at the team, and I think you're right. It's hard to be a playoff team in the NFL. A lot has to go right. You have to stay healthy. You have to win the game. You have to win a few games you probably shouldn't. Those things have to happen. I get it. I just feel like with this roster, with this team, those things will happen.
Yeah, and there's every reason to think that that's the truth. There's every reason to think that this is the best team that we've seen this franchise have in a very, very, very long time. All of the supporting cast that the quarterback needs, a defense that's going to be able to carry a lot of the burden on their shoulders, a running game that's going to be able to control the time of possession, and a quarterback that's not going to be asked to take over and be the savior. A quarterback that's going to be asked to play to his strengths, that's going to be asked to make a couple of throws throughout the course of a game to help his team win. And that's the recipe. That's the recipe they're going to try to follow. And it's not a recipe where you look in the cupboard and you don't have the ingredients. They have all of the ingredients. Do I think they have a quarterback that can make those 5 to 7 throws over the course of a game? I think Kyler Murray could be that quarterback. So I think they have the defense that can carry the burden, can be the leader of the team. They can be defense first. Yes. Couldn't say that last year. Can say it this year. A running game that's going to allow them to control the time of possession. That's going to allow them to limit the number of possessions the opposition gets. Yes, I think they have that in James Conner and Trey Benson. So they have all the ingredients. It is just about putting it all together. Will the breaks go their way?
That's the
question.
That's the question.
And that thin margin determines Kyler Murray's future, in my mind.
I think so, too.
480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. You can share your thoughts over there as well. It's Wednesday. It's when we do our top fives in honor of National Bacon Day. When we come back, our top 5 list, the top 5 ways to eat bacon, the top 5 bacon-related dishes, however you want to name the list. We're talking bacon when we come back. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Head coach Brian Wright and the Lumberjacks are setting a new standard in Flagstaff.
Happy with our attitude, our effort, how we've come together as a football team.
Join us Saturday, August 30th. The Lumberjacks invade Arizona State to battle the Sun Devils. Our coverage begins at 6 on your home for Lumberjack football.
Skips his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
The NAU Lumberjack Sports Network from Learfield.
Stevie Nicks. One special night, October 7th, PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Stevie Nicks. Live at PHX Arena.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple of years and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN. 602-837-PAIN.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Colts quarterback carousel took another spin, and this one has all the makings of a must-watch storyline. With Anthony Richardson sidelined once again, Daniel Jones is now set to take over. Fascinating twist because Richardson remains one of the league's biggest question marks. In 2 years, he's played fewer than a full season's worth of games. Still younger than Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., and Shedeur Sanders. He has all the physical tools, but the tape has been underwhelming. Enter Jones, whose own career has been filled with peaks and valleys and criticism. Could this be a chance for him to carve out a new path, the way Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield revitalized their careers? Maybe. But on the flip side, it could be the beginning of Richardson fading into the Josh Rosen category. For now, all we know is the Colts offense belongs to Daniel Jones. And just like Richardson's career, the story from here is anybody's guess. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball, and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. But you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough, they're lightweight, they're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell Pickleball Shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell Pickleball Shoes, the best pickleball shoes, purpose-built for pickleball.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Make sure you download the KTUS AM 1060 app. Today, your last chance to get in there to try to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Reds on Friday. It is Hispanic Heritage Weekend starting on Friday, August 22nd. There's a post-game concert. We've got your chance to win 4 tickets to the game. You can also get meet and greet and concert field passes. Just go to dbacks.com/SGT. We've got your chance to win 4 tickets to the game for listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app or streaming over on KDUS1060.com. It is a Wednesday, which means a top 5 list. It is National Bacon Day. Last week we did top 5 left-handed pitchers in baseball because it was National Left-Handers Day. So today, all about food, all about bacon. And so we have put together our top 5 bacon dishes or the top 5 ways to eat bacon. Who goes first here? Me?
Yeah, sure. If you want to bat lead off, you bat lead off.
I have a technicality at number 5.
Okay.
Because while, yes, it includes bacon, it is not specific to the list. But any dish, even ones that I might not necessarily enjoy in their normal state, you wrap them in bacon, I'm there.
Oh, I have 2 bacon-wrapped items on my list.
I just put all of them together. Anything bacon-wrapped, number 5 on my list of the top 5 bacon dishes.
Okay. I like that. I'm just going to stick similar theme here. Jalapeno poppers.
That would fit into the anything bacon wrapped.
Cut jalapeno, little cheese in there, wrapped in bacon, put in the oven.
Right. I love spice. I'll eat jalapeno flavored things all the time. I never find myself just chomping down on a jalapeno. You wrap that thing in bacon.
Now I'll eat it.
I'm there.
So that was me. That was my number 5, jalapeno poppers.
My number 4, I am taking a just delicacy, I think. And I'm adding something to it. I'm adding bacon to it because you don't always get this with bacon, but when I do it, I have bacon with it. Give me a grilled cheese with bacon, number 4 on my list.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Give me the crunch of the bacon with the melted cheese.
I like that a lot to the point where it might be higher on my list.
Wow, so bacon grilled cheese also on your list. I did not anticipate that here today.
Number 4 on my list, my technicality, a bacon jam. Little bacon jam you can spread on a burger.
Oh, so you went with a little sauce.
I did.
Okay.
I didn't know if we were going to call it a condiment, but at first it was top 5 ways to consume bacon. And then it was bacon dishes.
Yeah, I didn't really know
back and forth. So if it's consume bacon, bacon jam counts. If it's a bacon dish, I guess it doesn't.
No,
count.
I'll allow it. I just didn't want the top 5 ways to eat bacon and the number 1 be crispy. Like that, I was trying to make sure that ways that you can use bacon in food is what I'm trying to get at here. So bacon jam very much would fit the bill. So that's your number 4 is bacon jam. My number 3. It can be, if it's on a baked potato, I'm fine with it. If you want to put it in the mashed potatoes, I'm good with it. You give me bacon bits in mashed potatoes. You give me bacon bits on top of a baked potato. I don't know if there's only 2 better ways in my mind to use bacon. The crunchiness with the creaminess of the mashed potatoes. You put some salt on there. You have some butter. Oh, delicious.
A nice potato skin. Loaded potato skin. Yep. And it wasn't on my list because I thought you could do it without bacon, but you're right. It's such a good item. It's such a good item.
Like a regular baked potato is fine. It's just a potato. You add in bacon, it elevates it to now. I could get that as a dish. That could be my main entree. That's not a side. You give me a big enough baked potato. You got butter on there. I've got cheese on that thing. And more importantly, you have the bacon on there. Oh, delicious.
My number 3, bacon cheeseburger. Throw a little bit, maybe a Southwest burger, a little barbecue sauce in there. You need the bacon, a little crunch. And I don't always love it. But when it hits, it plays. It plays. And I think it's a good middle of the list spot for me. Don't have it too high, but 3 is a nice place for it to be.
My number 2, bacon cheeseburger, number 2 on my list. I don't want to steal any of the talking points that you just shared, but there's just something about the crunchy saltiness of a piece of bacon, multiple pieces of bacon. Not bacon bits. You got to go real full strips on a cheeseburger. Lather that baby in barbecue sauce. Couple patties, some cheese, some bacon. Oh, it's the best way to consume a burger.
My number 2, you had it a little earlier in the list. I love it. I love the way this feels in the fall. Maybe a little tomato soup to go with a bacon grilled cheese.
So I have a hot take. I'm not a soup with my grilled cheese guy.
Really? I'm a huge tomato soup with my grilled cheese guy.
I don't like tomatoes.
That's crazy.
So it's going to rule out the tomato soup.
Now, this is going to be interesting. See, I love tomatoes. Like, I'm a tomato on sandwich guy, tomatoes on burgers.
Yeah.
Hate ketchup.
Wow, I love ketchup. I'm the complete reverse of that. I love ketchup.
I think ketchup has, the smell of ketchup bothers me.
Okay. I mean,
I'm going to be the only person you've ever heard say that.
Yeah, I can't say that I've heard the main criticism of ketchup be the way that it smells. There are some people who just hey, I prefer mustard, or hey, I don't really like ketchup. I've never heard that I don't like ketchup because I don't like the smell of it. Especially when you like tomatoes in other dishes, the smell is mostly the same there.
It's just not as strong.
Ketchup is my number 1, and I don't want to do another top 5 in the middle of doing a top 5, but if we were doing top 5 sauces,
like condiments,
ketchup's number 1.
I just think it's probably the most classic.
Well, it's just so versatile.
But for me, it just can't be.
If the same thing can be used for eggs and French fries, you've got some versatility there.
Listen, I can't argue that. I really can't. I'm a honey mustard guy through and through.
Honey mustard would be on the list as well. Yes.
I think that would be my number one.
Honey mustard on the list. Regular mustard, not on the list, not even an HM.
Thank you. Mustard, gross. Now, I understand the importance of it in cooking. Like, when I go to In-N-Out, I will get it animal style, which is like mustard fried, right? So I understand why it's used there. And if I don't see it, I don't mind it.
Yes. Don't give me the bottle of the yellow mustard
yellow
to put on
mustard,
my hot dog.
like it just looks gross.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll pass.
Me too.
Now, importantly, you and I both don't have this on our list. We talked about this in the pre-show. We are not going to have the BLT on this list. And spoiler alert, it wasn't even an honorable mention.
It's not in my HM.
I didn't even consider it.
I really didn't either.
I don't like lettuce. I don't like tomato. I don't like mayo.
It's just an overrated sandwich.
So I'd rather have the bacon grilled cheese.
Now, like a turkey club with bacon, and I didn't know where we sat on that because you're calling it a turkey club. So then I just really felt like it can be in the conversation.
The reason why you put the BLT on there is because the B is carrying a lot of the weight, right?
But a bacon on a club sandwich, it really can add a nice touch there.
So I did not have BLT number one on my list. Or on my list at all. My number one, it's going to be the same as your number one. Because it's the one thing I miss about the East Coast the most. It's a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
It's a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
It is a breakfast delicacy to the point where if I go home, or if I go back, this is my home. If I go back to where I grew up, it is one of the first things I will do is I will go to a deli, I'll go to a bagel shop, and I will get a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup.
I was going to say salt, pepper, ketchup guy.
On a roll.
Yeah. Went to go visit my brother in New York a few weeks back. First thing I did
is get a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Go get me a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah. And I've had some decent bacon, egg, and cheeses here in Arizona. There's one place in particular that I go to on Sundays and I get one.
Where's that at?
Go to Bosa Donuts.
Oh, nice. It's good. Solid spot.
Very good spot.
Okay.
It's not a New York bacon, egg, and cheese.
And it never will be.
There's something special about the way they do the bacon, egg, and cheeses there on the East Coast. So the top 5 ways to consume bacon or to use bacon-related things. Number 5 for me, anything bacon wrapped. Number 4, bacon grilled cheese. Number 3, bacon bits, either in a baked potato or mashed potato. Number 2, the bacon cheeseburger. And number 1 for me, the bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich.
For me, it was jalapeno poppers in the 5 spot, bacon jam in the 4 spot, a little bit of a difference there. 3 was the bacon cheeseburger. 2, the bacon grilled cheese, and 1, the bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich. Any HMs for you? Because I got one that I didn't have on the list.
Okay, I did not have an HM.
A few Christmases ago, my mom always making chocolate chip cookies around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
She added bacon bits into the chocolate chip cookies.
All right.
Now I didn't want to throw that on the list because I didn't think that's something you have had before.
No, that doesn't count.
It was awesome.
I will say, in doing research for this, I found a list of 50 ways to have bacon casserole, like a bacon quesadilla.
I think we're on the same list.
I was like, wow, that's all things I never even considered.
Now, are you a fan of the chicken bacon ranch combo? Like that, I feel like that's a big thing.
Oh, I love a good chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah,
I don't love ranch though. So just the chicken and the bacon, please.
So I had a huge ranch phase, I would call it. And now I just
the way you feel about ketchup, it's the way I feel about ranch.
When you eat wings, what do you eat it with?
I just eat them with the sauce that the wing comes with.
Are you not a blue cheese guy?
I do not dip in the blue cheese. I do not dip in the ranch.
I'm a blue cheese guy. I think if you're an East Coaster, you're a blue cheese person. You're no ranch or blue cheese. But nobody from the East Coast should be choosing ranch.
I think if you have to use blue cheese or ranch for the wing, it's not a good wing. That's just my take. Just my personal opinion.
I don't hate that take.
If you get a wing, if you just get an original crispy wing that doesn't have sauce and you want to use blue cheese or ranch, okay. You want to give it some sauce, some flavor, I'm okay with that. If you get it lathered in sauce, you get a buffalo wing, you get a honey barbecue wing, you get something like that, I don't need ranch. I don't need blue cheese.
I love a good hot honey wing.
I love a good buffalo wing. If you can do it well and you can dial up the spice, there's nothing better. Nothing better. So there you have it. In honor of National Bacon Day, our top 5 bacon dishes here on the program. 480-864-1060 if you want to throw in some HMs, you want to share your lists also. over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, you can do so as well. When we come back, the Cardinals, the start of their schedule, very soft. How hot do they have to play at the beginning of the season? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Class is back in session, and so is Phoenix Rising. Celebrate the start of the school year on Saturday, August 23rd at 7:30 p.m. as Phoenix Rising takes on Colorado Springs in the back-to-school match. It's a night for students, families, and fans of all ages to come together and kick off the new season in style. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com. New school year, same rising energy.
I'm Wendy.
I'm Cameron.
And we're the Blair family. Being a realtor, I've toured many properties, many builders. I was coming with my husband to preview some homes for a client. And when we walked into Fulton Homes, we were blown away by the quality and the floor plans and the functionality. The quality of Fulton Home community is spectacular. They take such good care of the landscaping and the grounds.
We love the amenities. We love the pool. The whole clubhouse pool area is just massive. We love all the green.
Everything is green. It's just beautiful. You drive in and you can see that right off the bat. As far as the homes, it's just a solid build.
We've built 4 houses. Fulton was by far the best experience that we've had so far in building a house.
We definitely would recommend Fulton to all of our friends and family.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts. And it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
We have talked a lot about here on the show in the lead up to the season beginning against the Saints in week 1. How important it is for the Arizona Cardinals to get off to a good start, and how the schedule is extremely favorable to them in that regard at the start of the season. I want to read you a tweet from Bo Brock, who covers the Cardinals for PHNX. Arizona Cardinals face 6 non-playoff teams to open the season in 2025 and the following quarterbacks. They're either going to see Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck in week 1, Bryce Young in week 2, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones, now that we know he's going to be the starter in Indianapolis. The first 6 weeks of the season, you're either going to face Spencer Rattler or a rookie in week 1 and a rookie that was drafted on day 2. You're going to face Bryce Young, who, while had a better year last year, has not played up to being the number 1 overall pick. Brock Purdy, okay. Sam Darnold, coming off of a good year last year, but new system, new coach, new environment. And then the number 1 overall pick who faced 0 pressure when it came to winning the job. And Daniel Jones, who got kicked out of town in New York, is now going to Indy and only had to beat out Anthony Richardson to get that job. Now, the quarterbacks are not the be-all, end-all. There's other parts to these teams, but when I think of the improvement that the Cardinals have attempted to make defensively this offseason, adding Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, year 2 of Darius Robinson, drafting Walter Nolan, although he might not be there at the start of the season, signing Josh Sweat. Sorry that I didn't say that first in talking about the improvements for this defense. I look at a list of quarterbacks that this team is going to face the first 6 weeks of the season, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not scared of a single one of them. With this defense, with this coaching staff, this team should not be afraid defensively to match up with any of these quarterbacks to start the year. This defense should feast against these quarterbacks. You're telling me this defense in week 5 shouldn't be able to give Cam Ward fits? I love Cam Ward. Thought he deserved to be the number 1 pick. Think the sky is the limit for that kid. I think he's going to be one of the next great quarterbacks in the NFL. But not week 5 of his rookie campaign for a Tennessee team that needs a lot of help. Daniel Jones in Indianapolis. Should we be afraid that Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, is going to show up in that game and carve up this Cardinals defense? I'm certainly not. The Cardinals have to start hot. They have to start with their defense setting the tone against this group of quarterbacks. And they can set the tone right away. They're either facing Spencer Rattler or a rookie in week 1. That game should not be a 31-28 back-and-forth affair where the Cardinals win it in the last couple of minutes. What should the Cardinals do in that 6-game stretch? Saints, Panthers, 49ers, Seahawks, Titans, Indy. I see 4 wins easily. I see you beating the Saints. I see you beating the Panthers. You should beat the Titans. You should beat the Colts with Daniel Jones. Those 4 games should be locks. And then you have divisional games, 1 against Seattle, 1 against San Francisco. Win one of those games and you have a 5-1 start. And then people start to take you more seriously. All of the noise, all of the stories that have been written of, I don't know if the Cardinals are going to be that good. Yeah, they've made improvements defensively. You put all of that to bed if you get off to a good start. You put all of that to bed in the first 2 weeks when you take on the Saints and the Panthers. 4-2 should be the absolute minimum that you go over the first 6 weeks of the season. And put me on record for this right now, producer Evan. If they don't start the year 4-2, I'm going to be worried about this team. If they don't get off to a hot start by taking care of business on the road in New Orleans in week 1 and then coming back home to take on the Panthers, if they're not 2-0 going into that 49ers game, be a little bit worried about where this team is at.
We played the win-loss game, and the result we both got is you have to be 5-2 by week 7. And it's not that you have to be, but that's the way that you see this team being a playoff team. It's take advantage of the early part of your schedule. It's be 2-0 by the time you play the Niners, win the division games, and be 5-2 by the time you hit the Week 8 bye.
You face the Saints and Panthers the first 2 weeks of the season. You should win those games. You get the Seahawks on a short week Thursday night at home. I just have a rule. I'm always going to pick, in most cases, the Thursday night team that's home. On a short week, I'm going to give them the advantage. They don't have to travel. They get more time to prepare. I'm going to give them a chance. I'm going to give them the advantage, I should say. So that's 3-1. Titans, Colts, 5-1. 5-1 going into the Packers game on October 19th. That's where this team should be. And if they're not, should be concerned. If they're not, be worried about the quarterback. Be worried about an offense that's maybe a little bit sluggish. Be worried about a defense that maybe is taking a little bit longer to get into the flow with all of these new pieces. But there should be zero excuse. With the quarterbacks that you're going up against, you're not going to have to, Kyler Murray's not going to have to outduel many of these quarterbacks in order to win. He's going to be the better quarterback for most of these games. Rapid fire, producer Evan. Kyler Murray or whoever the Saints are starting in week 1?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray or Bryce Young?
Kyler Murray, but I like Young.
Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy?
I think in our list we had Purdy, so I'll stay consistent.
Kyler Murray or Sam Darnold?
Let's see what that offense looks like, but right now, give me Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray or Cam Ward?
Murray.
Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones?
Murray.
Okay. So in 5 of those 6, you picked Kyler Murray. If you maybe wanted to give it to Sam Darnold because he had the better year last year, in 4 of the 6 games, we think that Kyler Murray is going to step onto the field being the best quarterback to go along with a defense that should feast against these quarterbacks. There is zero excuse for this team to not get off to a hot start, for this team to not be 2-0 to start the year, to be 5-1 by the end of this first 6-game stretch. And if you don't do that, you're going to have to make it up somewhere in a second half of the schedule that is really, really difficult. So I like that Bo put this together on paper the way that he did, showing the quarterbacks, because it just further emphasizes for me and probably for many of you how important the first 6 weeks of the year are for this team. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to have our answer, I think, in the first 6 weeks of how real this team is, because they're either going to take full advantage of a really nice schedule, or they're going to confirm everybody's worst fears about this team.
And to circle back to our earlier conversation, that's the argument for playing the starters this week, is you have to take advantage of this early part of your schedule. This is the place to do it. If you start 5-2, 6-1, and head into that bye, the confidence in the room just builds, and the message becomes easier to sell.
Week 1 against the Saints, about as must-win as you can get for this franchise. However they think the right way is to get there this week in the preseason, they're going to take it. My guess is they're going to hold everybody back and get ready for that week 1 game by not putting anybody in jeopardy. But either way, they play this week or they don't play this week, they have to win that game in week 1. We've got one more before we are out of here today on the program. We call it the leftovers. It is all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Life can throw a lot your way. For some, that includes first episode psychosis, or FEP. It can feel overwhelming, like hearing or seeing things that aren't there, or feeling disconnected from reality. The good news? FEP can be treated. Recovery can include medication, therapy, and support from peers. There are programs across Arizona with people who understand and are ready to walk with you. It all starts with one click. Visit learnmorefep.org. Sponsored by MacForce, working to build healthier communities.
Stay at the heart of it all with a special Cliff Castle room rate starting at just $99 with no resort fees. Less fees mean more ways to choose your next adventure at the gateway to the region's best gaming, entertainment, and natural wonders. And expect service from the heart as well. We think you'll love your stay with us and all the value we provide, starting at just $99 with no added fees. Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, at the heart of it all. Valid Sunday through Thursday. Some restrictions apply. An enterprise of the Yavapai Apache Nation.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be...
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
Jack here. My bonus Jack combo starting at $3.99 comes with fries, a drink, and a burger with 1, 2, or 3 patties. It's a meal that'll actually make you happy. Starting at $3.99. Get so much more.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Plus tax, limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
The summertime deals are still heating up at Mark Kia. Right now, receive 0% APR for up to 60 months on a brand new 2025 Kia EV6.
That's right, 0%. The name to remember, Mark Kia. Mark Kia. This is a deal you've been waiting for.
Offer expires September 2nd, 2025.
Hey, listeners, this Saturday. Oh, wait a second. I'm going to have someone more important share the great news. Go ahead.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show listeners. This is Saguaro High School Principal Miss A. Vince will be out at Saguaro for our fall sports preview. You'll hear from coaches and kids. It's the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11 on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona. Go Cats.
Thanks, Miss A. Can't wait.
Back to wrap up today's edition of the Lunch Break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert here with you on the program. Appreciate you joining us. So, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the show, we call them the leftovers. Producer Evan is the one who compiles the docket, and he shares them with us now. What do you got for us, Producer Evan? I am keeping an eye on the Guardians-Diamondbacks game here.
I figured you would be. Would you like an update there to start?
Well, Brendan Pfaadt is dealing with some trouble, at least according to what I'm seeing here. The TV in this room, I can't get to work. I don't know if I'm using the wrong remote. I think I am. So I'm not watching the game on the television screen. I'm following it on my tablet over here, and the bases are loaded in the first inning for the Guardians.
So I'm seeing Cleveland up 1-0, runners on second and third.
So then they gotta
what I assume was a sac fly.
That yes, based on the way that
grounds. It's a RBI ground out by Bo Naylor, brother of former Diamondback Josh Naylor.
Yes, Guardians have a 1-0 lead early in that.
Staying within baseball, Bobby Witt Jr. hit his 100th career home run last night, makes him just the 4th player to have 100 home runs and 100 stolen bases through his first 4 big league seasons. The other players
Wait. Can I try to guess?
Yeah.
So he's the 4th player to do this?
100 homers, 100 stolen bags in his first 4 major league seasons.
Ronald Acuna Jr.?
No.
Wow. I thought for sure.
Remember, he had the injury, so he misses one.
I know, but I thought for sure he got off to a really good start. 100 homers, 100 stolen bases.
Only one of them are active. And there's one name that was in the news recently. And then the other one, I don't know if you'll get.
Wow, I feel so thrown off that Acuna wasn't on the list. I thought for sure. Just give me the list now. I'm
it's Julio Rodriguez.
Okay.
Who is a name that I probably would have guessed. I didn't think he would have the home run numbers. I actually was surprised to see that. Darryl Strawberry, who is the name I was saying was in the news recently just because Pete Alonso passed him. And the last one was Bobby Bonds.
Wow, that's a very interesting group of players there.
I've always wondered this, and this could sound stupid. Is Bobby Bonds the brother of Barry?
You know what? I'm gonna allow you to look this up on your own. Normally, I would correct you and I would tell you what the answer is here. I'm gonna let you do the research and in real time get the answer. I'm gonna let you figure this one out on your own. And then you're gonna share with us like a little show and tell when you were in like 3rd or 4th grade and you had to do a little research project and you had to come in and share what you learned with the rest of the class. You're gonna now have to share with the rest of the class after you type Bobby Bonds into your little...
Bobby Bonds is the father of Barry
there you
Bonds.
go. There you
Nice. Bobby not as good.
Bobby was good. Bobby was a good player. Barry was a great player.
I mean, Barry's the greatest player ever.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
Well, he is.
He has the most home runs in the history of the sport. I would agree with that.
I mean, nobody feared
Bobby
any other player like Barry Bonds.
Bobby was not getting intentionally walked with the bases loaded. No, yes. But Bobby was a good player.
Staying in baseball, Victor Robles got a 10-game suspension.
Yeah.
After what is probably the craziest sequence. I saw a video on John Boy breaking it all down. He got hit like 6 times in a series, and the last one, he just lost it.
Yeah,
in a rehab.
So he had been hit 3 times in his previous 4 games with Tacoma, then got hit again. And he picked up the bat after dropping it and threw it towards the mound in the direction of the pitcher. And to the shock of absolutely nobody, was immediately ejected from the game for doing so. And MLB has handed down a 10-game suspension and undisclosed fine for doing that. He apologized afterwards.
I admittedly, obviously, there's never a situation where you should be throwing the bat like that. I felt a little bad.
I can understand the frustration. I can't understand the way he dealt with the frustration. If he wanted to, here's
it just kept happening. And when you watch it, I encourage people to go watch on the John Boy video because it's funny. How many times he's getting hit? Like, I feel bad, but it's a little funny.
I could understand maybe after this last time that it's the last straw for you, that you maybe take off your elbow guard or whatever stuff you're wearing and you violently throw it towards like your own dugout in frustration. There's never a good reason for picking up the bat and chucking it at the pitcher. Maybe he was doing his best Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza
I was going to say, now let
impersonation.
me ask you, flip it. What if the bat breaks
Right.
and heads towards the pitcher and then he throw it back at the batter?
Well, when you think it's the ball and you throw it at it, I understand why you would do that.
Obviously, because peg outs in Major League Baseball.
Right. Obviously,
do count.
that's the way you get an out. You throw the ball at the opposition.
Bleacher Report.
One of the dumbest excuses I've seen for behavior ever. Roger Clemens, after chucking the bat at Mike Piazza in I think that was 2001.
Was it the World Series? Right?
If it was the World Series, it was 2000. I think it was 2000. Saying, I thought it was the ball. That's not going to help you get out of this. You threw the bat at him. So if you thought it was the ball, wouldn't you have thrown it to first base? Just one of the dumbest excuses I've ever seen for behavior ever.
Bleacher Report ranked the last place finishers in their best chance to finish first in the division. They had 8 teams from last year.
So the NFL, okay.
Now their chances to finish first in the division.
Okay.
Ranked them 1 to 8. Cleveland was the last place team.
Yeah, that's just Joe Flacco starting at quarterback, reason number 1. But reason number 2, you play in a division with the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers.
Number 2 is the Raiders. Same concept there. The Raiders have made a lot of additions this offseason, but quite a crew of teams there in that division.
They may be better and still finish in last place.
Yeah. Yep. Number 3 was the New York Giants. Number 4 was the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
Number 5 was the New England Patriots. Number 6 was the Chicago Bears. So they have them in 3rd, I guess. Is 3rd most likely.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, the New Orleans Saints.
What?
And this to me is just the division isn't as good as the other.
Sure, but I'll take the Bears over the Saints.
Here's why they can. The NFC South could be wide open. The Falcons are essentially working with a rookie quarterback. The Panthers are a tremendous work in progress. The Bucs may not be trustworthy. Meanwhile, New Orleans still has plenty of lingering experience on both sides of the ball. I don't really know if they do. Not good experience.
Stink out loud.
I think they stink. And the last place and the first team that they think could do it is the San Francisco 49ers.
Which makes sense. They're the most talented of those 8 teams. And you look at last year.
And you still would look at this division and say, listen, they don't have a Chiefs, an Eagles, a Bengals, a Ravens.
Exactly. You division that's somewhat open, and you're the most talented of the 8 teams on this list. Yeah, not surprised that that's what they had at number 1. That's going to do it for us here. Wednesday edition of the program in the books. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome, he is coming up next. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.